Today's Dallas Cowboys news are made possible by Magic Spoon. Get $5 off your first order of this healthy and delicious cereal at magicspoon.com/Cowboys. We'll have a clickable link for you guys in the comment section and in the description. Some major Cowboys news around players and a coach going in the COVID-19 protocol. The Cowboys revealed today that 4 players and 1 coach have been placed in the COVID-19 protocol. This started back in week 2 of the NFL preseason when Dan Quinn and defensive tackle Carlos Watkins were both sent home from the game because they were not feeling well. Now it's been confirmed that both Quinn and Watkins have tested positive for COVID-19. Now Quinn, along with all of the Dallas Cowboys coaches per NFL mandates, are fully vaccinated. So this is a breakthrough case then for the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys are working virtually on Monday and are still set to return to practice on Tuesday. But the most notable name now on this COVID list is wide receiver CeeDee Lamb, as Lamb is also a part of these protocols. Now, the report from the Dallas Morning News is that CeeDee Lamb is vaccinated, which means if that is the case and he has cleared the waiting period after getting the second shot, it means that Lamb ended up testing positive for COVID-19. Now, the rules are, and we'll go more in depth in this later on, if you are vaccinated, you must produce 2 negative tests separated by a span of 24 hours, then you are good to return. We're not going to see CeeDee Lamb really at all, I don't think, this week of practice. Also is Malik Hooker. He is among the players in that protocol. Hooker, meanwhile, is not fully vaccinated. The report from the Dallas Morning News, once again, is that Hooker's had 1 of the 2 vaccination shots. He finally got some playing time in the first preseason game against the Texans, but now he's going to end up missing some time. Not yet clear at this point if Hooker has tested positive or not, but he is in the protocols nonetheless. His fellow safety, Israel Mukuamu, has had both shots. However, he was still in the waiting period after the second shot to count as fully vaccinated. Mukuamu has not tested positive, at least not yet, but he does count as a close contact due to Malik Hooker, so Mukuamu will miss at least a little bit of time. I'm not sure, by the way, what the protocol is going to be here for Mukuamu when he is eligible to return. If a player is not vaccinated, there's a 10-day waiting period if you test positive. I think for Mukuamu, it should end up being more like the Cam Newton situation, where he isn't vaccinated, but also missed some time, but he never tested positive, so maybe it's a 5-day waiting period for Mukuamu. That's not yet clear to me. What it does mean, however, is I doubt we'll see Hooker or Mukuamu play in the final preseason game on Sunday, which would mean, since I don't think many of the starters will play, lots of run for Jaron Kearse to an extent. But mostly Darian Thompson will benefit from this, and Mukuamu in particular fighting for a roster spot. Unfortunate timing for him. This will not help him out from that perspective, but it shouldn't be a massive issue long term since, again, he did not test positive. Then the initial player from this, that's Carlos Watkins, much like Dan Quinn, sent home from the Cowboys preseason game. The report is that Watkins is also fully vaccinated. So once he tests negative twice after 24 hours, he will be cleared to return to the team. So knowing this might open up a very large can of worms in the comment section, let me know in the comments what is your concern level over this Cowboys COVID news. Rate it for me on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being you're not concerned at all, 10 being you're freaking out. Get your votes in for me right now in the comments section. Now, my main hope and thing to watch here for the Cowboys is, of course, hope they're all fine. They're all pro athletes. They're not really in the risk category, although Carlos Watkins is a bigger guy. That's the one area you got to be maybe a little bit more concerned about from a personal level. And then, of course, on the field, get them all back before week 1. That shouldn't be a problem with where this is at the time frame. Obviously, the goal is that nobody ever tests positive for the Cowboys. If it's going to, you'd rather have it be now than, say, in the middle of the season. One other important note here from a roster perspective. These players, at least not right now, have not officially been placed on the COVID reserve list, but it is a reserve list, which means with the Cowboys having to get the active roster down to 80 players by Tuesday, with 4 players going on this list, That means only one other player has to be cut or waived or put on IR for the Cowboys to get down to that limit. So, won't see as many cuts as the Cowboys were planning on making even just maybe 24 hours ago. As mentioned, today's show is made possible by Magic Spoon. They helped me out with my lunch today. Healthy and tasty cereal that tastes way too good to be true. High in protein, 13 or 14 grams in each bowl, only 4 grams of net carbs. And oh, by the way, despite tasting like the delicious cereal we all grew up with, there's actually 0 sugar. It's the best healthy and tasty cereal on the market. So get $5 off your first order at magicspoon.com/Cowboys. There will be, by the way, folks, a clickable link for you guys in the comments section and in the description to make your lives just a little bit easier. It's magicspoon.com/Cowboys. Go get $5 off that delicious cereal today. Let's talk backup quarterbacks now because we got a battle at this position. The Cowboys, after it looked like entering the last preseason game, it was going to be Garrett Gilbert, the door is at least open right now for Cooper Rush. The Cowboys are letting Rush work with the starters, and I emphasize starters in air quotes. I don't know just how much we're really going to see in the game and to practice to an extent of the true star lineup since it is a rather meaningless preseason game. But because Rush was so impressive against the Texans, he's now getting a chance to work with the ones in practice, which he has not done a lot of so far this preseason and training camp. So for now, I'll list the depth chart like this. Dak Prescott, Cooper Rush, Garrett Gilbert. Rush and Gilbert are very much more or less tied for QB2. And, of course, everyone's favorite, Ben DiNucci, who, by the way, hope I'm wrong, but I doubt it, probably going to make the roster because Dak's not going to play in the final preseason game, which means you literally need arms to get through that last game. Now, based only on the preseason statistics, and due in large part to Rush's great game against the Texans, Rush has been the more impressive quarterback overall. I still argue Garrett Gilbert has been the better of the two in the first 2 games, but Game 3 certainly went to Rush. There's different strengths and weaknesses here. Gilbert offers you more talent and ability. Rush, meanwhile, is a little bit better at operating within the structure of an offense. However, Rush's arm is not good. Gilbert's going to make more mistakes. He'll end up making more plays for you as well. So a lot of this comes down to just what you want in your backup quarterback. As a reminder, neither guy's very good. If Dak Prescott misses time, you're in trouble. But this is once again preseason Rush, just like 2017, looking like a lot better quarterback than he actually is. So pick a backup quarterback here for me, folks. Who do you want it to be? Type CR for Cooper Rush, or type in GG for Garrett Gilbert. There is no option for Ben DiNucci because I'm not a crazy person. If you guys want constant news and updates on the Dallas Cowboys and the live show on Tuesday, remember, it's changed, folks, 3 p.m. Eastern Time on Tuesday, 3 p.m. Central Time, 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central. Head over and hit that big red button. You see the bottom of the screen change, and that's the URL if you guys need it, but you're already watching on YouTube. All you guys have to do, hit the subscribe button. That way you won't miss out on the daily videos coming at you guys here from the Dallas Cowboys Report. Let's talk Dak Prescott now, and not so much about the situation with his shoulder. He's still going to work up and get more progress and blah, 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 and we'll see him in week 1 of the NFL season, not against the Jags. ESPN and their quarterback council ranked NFL quarterbacks in 12 different categories. That council, the Knights of the Round Table, if you will, bunch of different quarterback experts from around the internet. They had 12 different categories. We're running through all of them here. Dak placed in the top 10 in all but 1 of them. And he was one of just 5 quarterbacks to be in the top 10 in 11 of those 12 categories. So let's go through the categories, right? Dak was not ranked in arm strength. That was the one he was left off of. I believe based on the others receiving votes, Dak checked in at 11th in that category. He was 8th in accuracy, which is pretty darn straightforward there. Touch was actually 5th, and the difference between accuracy and touch there is touch is a little bit more of just how you're delivering the balls versus where they're going. Mechanics, he was 7th, something Dak tied for 7th, something he's worked very hard on over the past couple of years to grow and develop. He ended up being 6th in field vision, which is just how you see the field. 7th in decision making, just whether or not you're making good decisions or not, which again checks out pretty straightforward there. The compete level, he was 8th. I think that's actually the one I probably have the only major disagreement with on so far. Feel like Dak should be a little bit higher in the compete level, given just that the overall competitor he's proven to be in his NFL career. He was also 8th in toughness. Now, this is not about mental toughness or coming off injury or whatever. This really has more to do with how you take a hit, is how a lot of the voters ended up going there. So bigger quarterbacks, like a Josh Allen, for example, ranked higher than Dak in the toughness area. He was also 8th in both pocket presence and scrambling, which, again, very straightforward descriptors there. He was 9th in designed run ability. I'm also very curious, by the way, ESPN did not do this last year, how Dak would have ranked in designed run ability and maybe scrambling too, pre-injury, post-injury. I don't know if there'd be a difference, but I am curious if there would be. He was also 7th in what ESPN called second reaction ability. Better way to describe that, I argue, is outside of structure. When the play breaks down, how good are you at making plays? We've seen Dak make those plays on the run, rolling out, hitting players on the move. When there's a free rusher, how does he avoid the sack there? 7th, again, feels about right there. Those are all top 11 if we include arm strength on that category for Dak Prescott. I think it's pretty clear where he ranks among NFL quarterbacks in terms of the tier and the grouping, second or third, depending how you rank Mahomes, if he's in his own tier or not. But what I want you guys to do right now is rank Dak Prescott among all the NFL quarterbacks for me. Is he 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or beyond that? Get your votes in for me in the comments section. As I've said many times before, now make it again right now, at minimum, Dak should be in your top 10. If you want to argue and nitpick over who's higher in the tier of the Deshaun Watsons, the Josh Allens, the Lamar Jacksons, maybe Justin Herbert after this year too, where those guys rank in the, I'd argue, 5-ish, maybe 4, but probably 5 to 10 range, cool, we can have that debate. The tier, though, I think is pretty clear. Dak is in that obvious franchise quarterback tier. So whether it's 7 or 10, Dak is certainly in that category. He's proven that repeatedly. And hopefully with a healthy season coming up for Dak Prescott, he'll show it once again. The Cowboys need Dak Prescott. He is going to be the biggest reason why this team has success, and if he's injured, why they end up picking in the top 10 once again. The Cowboys season, as it is for all teams with a very expensive, high-paid franchise quarterback, the season rides on their franchise quarterback. Almost doesn't matter who the backup quarterback ends up being. The Cowboys have Dak. He's a great quarterback. ESPN's rankings reflect that. Now it's a matter of proving he can take that next step forward, and the team can finally have a little bit more playoff success than they've had in the past, 25 years or so.